is vastly beautiful, wild, the last frontier. And it's a must-see for adventurers of all ages and walks of life. Imagine Alaska's evocative landscape, wildlife, and rich history revealed through a lens of comfort and impeccable service.
Holland America Line has been revealing Alaska's wonders to guests since before it was a state.
Introducing visitors to the friendly ports and magnificent backcountry sights for 70 years.
Welcome to where epic adventure meets pampering hospitality.
Holland America Line's mid-size ships carry fewer guests, which seems to make for a more personal, enriching journey. Exclusive partnerships with B.B. King's Blues Club, Lincoln Center Stage, and Billboard energize evenings on board, while the Culinary Arts Center offers guests hands-on cooking classes and demonstrations, or the chance to explore new wine pairings. The digital workshop powered by Windows is the place to learn how to edit photos and videos and share them with your social networks. And don't miss the Explorations Cafe, the ship's coffee house, library, and internet center in partnership with the New York Times. And of course, there's always the option to do nothing at all. Video games and activities offer plenty of kid-friendly recreation in Club HAL, while adults enjoy the best in onboard entertainment and nightlife. And ships are designed with an emphasis on expansive decks and big, open views, perfectly suited to the Alaska experience. Luxurious suites, verandas, and staterooms offer refined style and a bit more room. And then there's the food. Onboard menus are inspired by and supplied by Alaska's delicious flavors.
Alaska's ports of call are timeless waterside gems, each with a character and a charm all its own.
Skagway and Ketchikan, the larger ports of Juneau and Anchorage, and other colorful ports such as Sitka, Haines, Homer, Kodiak, and Icy Strait Point, situated along a coastline more vast than the rest of the U.S. coastline combined. Along the way, you can create a once-in-a-lifetime adventure all your own. And then there are the glaciers. Depending on your itinerary, you'll experience the twin Sawyer glaciers of Tracy Arm, Hubbard Glacier, or Glacier Bay. At 3.3 million acres, Glacier Bay National Park, a World Heritage Site, is about the size of Connecticut. Holland America Line has been showing guests this spectacular place since before it was declared a national park. Park rangers board ship to provide fascinating insight and take guests on a journey back in geological time. Remnants of the Little Ice Age from 4,000 years ago, these glaciers ebb and flow like slow-moving rivers, constantly changing and providing a thrilling spectacle to Holland America Line guests. 7 or 14-day cruises depart from Vancouver, British Columbia, or from Seattle, and you can expand your adventure on a Holland America land and sea journey into Denali National Park, the Yukon Territory, and beyond. Whichever experience you choose, this is the Alaska you've been dreaming about. The adventure continues to the must-see and the seldom seen. A Holland America Line land and sea journey will bring you farther into the great land. Denali National Park, wildlife and wonder, the Yukon, and the colorful trail of the Klondike Gold Rush, all combined with an elegant and unforgettable 3, 4, or 7-day Holland America Line cruise of Alaska's Inside Passage. There are many land and sea journeys to choose from, plus countless ways to add to your experience with optional excursions and adventures. Anchorage is the northernmost major city in the U.S., and it's one of the gateways to Holland America Line's award-winning journeys to Denali, the Yukon, and beyond.
You'll set out from Anchorage on the McKinley Explorer for an unforgettable journey. This 18-foot-tall, double-decker train will take you on an epic adventure through some truly wild places on your way to Denali National Park. And the glass-domed rail cars provide a 360-degree view, so it feels like practically soaring through this amazing landscape. Who would have ever expected to find such fine dining in such a faraway environment? And you know what? The view is pretty spectacular too. I've already seen a mother bear and her 3 cubs. That's not something you see every day.
In the comfort of rail cars devoted exclusively to Holland America Line travelers, you'll cross a 900-foot trestle over Hurricane Gulch. Your guide will point out Broad Pass, the highest point on the Alaska Railroad. And on a sunny day, North America's tallest peak beckons.
All right, guys, we'll do a couple of turns over here. We'll get you guys some views of Mount McKinley, this time on the left side. We're looking at about 6,000 feet of mountain out there. From where we're at, it's 2 miles to the base of it.
To stand beneath North America's highest peak on a glacier of ice hundreds of feet thick on a day like today, it's unforgettable.
Take a look at a map. There's only one road leading into the heart of Denali. This is a wild place. To see it is to see the original North America, the world the way it once was. Now, the first rush to Denali was for gold, but thanks to a man named Charles Sheldon, who had the idea to protect it, and President Wilson, who signed it into law, Denali became a national park in 1917. The earliest visitors could have never guessed that there would be so many ways to enjoy this place, from biking and hiking to dog sleds and river rafting. You may want to consider spending a full 3 days doing it. If nature had a theme park, this is it.
No photo or video can paint the whole picture. Denali National Park is a fully intact ecosystem where bear, moose, sheep, and caribou forage in the presence of Mount McKinley. A tundra wilderness tour will take you deeper into the park for a closer look at the mountain and the wildlife. In the tradition of the great national park lodges, visitors with Holland America Line are treated to a perfect balance of the rustic and the refined. Beautiful spaces, innovative dining, comfortable rooms, and raft departures right out the back door. The centerpiece of the 60-acre McKinley Chalet Resort is the all-new Denali Square. Best described as both a hub for Denali adventures and a retreat to relax away from the crowds. With soaring views into Denali National Park, Denali Square features the unforgettable flavors of Karsten's Public House, a central amphitheater for ranger presentations and local musicians, all connected by a boardwalk that invites visitors to browse the shops and visit the artist-in-residence cabin. In the evenings, rousing music and humor transport guests into Gold Rush history at the Music of Denali Dinner Theater in the Gold Nugget Saloon. After the show, meet friends old and new around the campfire and share stories of your Denali adventures. In Alaska, home of the Iditarod, dog sledding is the state sport. But these champs are also employed by rangers to patrol the park and keep it safe in winter. Here you'll get a first-hand look at these canine athletes. Denali is a place like no other. Visitors are encouraged to spend 2 or even 3 days here because experiences like this don't come along very often. A journey beyond Denali takes guests farther into the wilds of the great interior, where rugged nature and other attractions entice hearts and minds.
One word: gold. Gold Dredge number 8 is where 100,000 gold rushers chipped at the permafrost for the dream of getting rich. Here, guests can see a real working gold mine with a rich history. You get to take your own shot at getting rich quick, and the best part is that you get to keep everything you find. Take in this area's wild beauty on a whole different kind of cruise. Climb aboard the Riverboat Discovery. It's an authentic Alaskan sternwheeler, and head on up the Chena and Tanana rivers.
A short 1-hour flight from Fairbanks to colorful Dawson City gives Holland America Line guests the opportunity to explore the magnificent Yukon, one of North America's best-kept travel destination secrets. Yukon guests with 2 nights in Dawson City will board the nostalgic Klondike Spirit paddle wheeler for an unforgettable cruise on the River of Gold. At about the size of California, but with a population of just 35,000, the Yukon is far away, wild, and wonderfully historic.
There have been a lot of gold rushes throughout history, but the Klondike Gold Rush was the roughest and hardest fought of them all. It was also the one with the most colorful history and the most spectacular natural backdrop. Strolling Dawson City with boardwalks underfoot, you get a real sense of the 100-year-old character of this place. These unpaved streets and false front buildings originally sprang up to house and serve gold rushers. And you know what? Even today, gold is the #1 industry here.
Diamond Tooth Gertie's is the oldest casino in continuous operation in Canada. Patrons occasionally still pay for drinks in gold dust. Holland America Line's Explorer coaches are familiar sights around Alaska and the Yukon throughout summer, delivering you to the wonder of this part of the world smoothly and comfortably.
The White Pass and Yukon Rail is an authentic, narrow-gauge train that takes guests on a journey into some amazing Alaskan country. It climbs 3,000 feet in just 20 minutes. When it was built in 1898, people said it couldn't be done, and it has since been named an International Civil Engineering Landmark. That's a designation that it shares with the Eiffel Tower, the Panama Canal, and the Statue of Liberty.
Following the Klondike Trail of the last great gold rush, Holland America Line guests have the unique opportunity to journey on the White Pass and Yukon as a key leg of their land and sea journey. Skagway is among Alaska's most colorful and interesting ports of call. It was the gateway to the Klondike, where gold rushers outfitted and set out up the Chilkoot Trail. Today, Skagway is a kind of intersection where Holland America Line cruises meet overland adventures headed into the Great Land. Holland America Line guests have the unique choice to follow the gold rusher's journey cruising first, or experience the great interior, then cruise the inside passage in comfort and style. Situated between steep rocky cliffs at the water's edge, Skagway was part of the setting for Jack London's Call of the Wild, and it offers some wild and wonderful things to do today. Explore and shop the historic port town, or explore on bike, in a canoe, or by dog sled. Skagway brings out the adventurer in everybody. Cruise first, or travel overland and then cruise. From a 7-day cruise to a 20-day land and sea journey, there are so many ways to customize and create your perfect Alaska adventure. Any one of them will make for a truly remarkable journey.